Welcome, everyone. It's Jeffrey Allen again. As we begin, please remember your grounding and be in the center of your head. And notice your earth and cosmic energy running. Today, we'll be exploring empathy and healthy personal boundaries. Empathy is one of the most interesting and most misunderstood areas of intuition. From an energy perspective, we are constantly immersed in a sea of thoughts, ideas, emotions, and feelings from other people. Yet, just like the fish in the sea, we are often completely unaware of the water we swim in and how much it affects us. Empathy is the energetic skill we use to match and merge with this sea of energy that's all around us. Our personal boundaries determine if this is a healthy process, which we feel good with, or if we feel overwhelmed by this out-of-control empathy. In simple terms, boundaries mean you get to choose. In the physical world, sometimes you have to do things that you don't want. You have to follow the rules, even the dumb ones. And people with size or power can push you around. But this is not true in the energy world. In the energy world, you get to choose which energies you experience. No one can impose their energy on you if you understand boundaries and seniority. The term seniority just means that you understand that this is true, that you get to choose your energy. Think about how we transfer energy in the physical and energy worlds. They're very different. The physical world deals with finite objects. If I give you an object, now you have it, and I no longer have it. If I talk you into carrying my suitcase and guitar, now I don't have to carry them. And maybe this is okay because you wanted to help me. By contrast, the energy world deals with the infinite. It's more like transferring frequencies or transferring energy than transferring objects. If I give you some information, now you have a copy, but I still have the original. Let's say I talk you into carrying my emotional baggage. Now we're both carrying it. You didn't really help me or yourself. Empathy is about learning to match or use another energy. And energetically, we really have infinite potential. We can learn or become anything. A good analogy is to imagine that you are the guitar, right? And you can play any song. If I teach you my song, you can play it, and so can I. So how does energy travel from person to person? You can think of energy like waves or sounds, rather than particles or objects. You are a beautiful guitar with infinite potential, and you vibrate your song out into the world. Good and bad, fears and pains, happiness. These songs are like tuning forks ringing at a precise note. Other people also have infinite potential. They have matching tuning forks. When you play your song, the energy travels to them and they vibrate at your song. Your vibration is now part of them and vice versa, at least temporarily. They have learned to play your song. It doesn't matter if it's a good song or a bad song. That's empathy, matching the energy around you. It's not simply thinking, I can relate. Empathy isn't a mental understanding, it's actually becoming the energy temporarily. And we all do this, mostly unconsciously. Our energy boundaries determine how often and how it affects us. The technical term for this is sympathetic resonance. It happens when there is harmonic likeness. You can see this if you have two guitars too. Just pluck a string on one guitar, and the corresponding string vibrates in the other. Pretty cool. There are some really fun benefits of empathy. Great social skill. People like you if you're similar to them and you can blend into any environment. Empathy is great for learning, understanding the world deeply, and truly knowing how people are feeling. Empathy helps you be a good listener or counselor. People like to tell you their secrets and problems, and your resonance helps them understand themselves. You're like a mirror or a movie screen they can project on. Which brings me to the downsides of empathy. Good projector screens tend to get projected on. People might share too many problems with you. People can more easily project their emotional baggage onto you as well. And we'll learn to fix this in this chapter. If you're highly empathic, it's easy to get caught in other people's priorities. You can lose sight of your own boundaries and your own priorities. You may have a tendency to be taken advantage of. You might get easily overwhelmed by feeling too much of the world. And it can be easy to lose track of yourself. You're just helping others, but not helping yourself. So keep in mind that while everyone is empathic, some people are experts. And if you're highly empathic, you've been nodding your head here. You already get it. If this is not like you, it may be like someone close to you. So this can help you understand your friend or your spouse. Now, a fun example of empathy gone bad is matching other people's moods. For example, so let's say you're feeling really happy and you're having a perfectly nice day. And then Oscar the Grouch comes by and it's everything is terrible, blah, 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 and they're very negative. And now you feel grumpy too. And you might even be mad at Oscar for ruining your mood. But consider why this happened. You unconsciously matched their energy. This is completely optional. If you had better boundaries, this wouldn't have happened. It's not all Oscar's fault. This is also how you get pulled into an argument. You're feeling okay, someone starts to argue with you, and pretty soon you're arguing and getting frustrated too. And you might think, this isn't even like me. I'm only like this when I'm with this particular person. That's a good sign that you're unconsciously matching their energy. Again, it's not their fault. They just have a different style than you do. If you stop matching their style and mood, you'll start feeling better. Think of one person right now that you argue with. And next time it happens, remember, maybe I'm matching their argumentative or analytical thinking energy. And see if it helps. Now, blame is a dangerous trap. You all know this, but I'll say it anyway. You might be thinking, I feel bad when Oscar's around, so it's his fault. This seems completely logical and reasonable. But if this is true, you've lost your seniority. You no longer believe that you have a choice. You're no longer able to respond. You are a victim. You're not responsible means that you're not able to respond, right? And if you think this way, it will be true for you. You cannot master your space without seniority, without ownership of your space, without knowing your energy always has priority. It's true that they are responsible for the original energy and you are responsible for your copy. This responsibility can be hard to swallow, but if you've been using the energy, it's yours now. Remember the tuning forks, sympathetic resonance, right? You can only match things that you have a little bit of in yourself. If you really want to see empathy gone awry, try matching other people's desires. Let's say you're at a party and you're sensitive, so you're feeling a little overwhelmed. You have a few drinks to loosen up, and this works. Your boundaries are now loose, and your guard is down. You have no boundaries. Then you meet someone who's really interested in you, and you go home together. And then you wake up the next day thinking, why this person? I'm not attracted to them at all. So what happened here? Their attraction and desire energy was strong. Your boundaries were weak. So you became their attraction and desire energy. You played their song instead of your own. And again, it's not their fault. You had poor boundaries. If you blame them, you are helpless to change it in the future. Now let's look at another silly example. Maybe a friend says, what do you want to eat? And you're thinking inside, I want something cheap and fast, maybe just a sandwich. But you say, I don't know, what do you want? Right? And your friend, who has more certainty, says, I'd like an expensive long lunch. And you go along with it, but you feel frustrated with your choice. You didn't get what you want because you matched their desire and you have weak boundaries. Now, if you're starting to get depressed, just hang in there. I will give you some tools to help. But first, you have to understand that you have an empathy problem in these situations. Only then can you change it. So let's look at one more unfortunate example. And you realize all these examples are from my life, right? Okay, so this one is the worst. Couples with unconscious energy can bring out the worst in each other. For example, let's say your partner has an old drama. Maybe their stepdad was really stingy and they have some pain around it. And you unconsciously absorb this drama energy because you have poor boundaries. You start vibrating at the stingy energy. Now, when your partner looks at you, they see their old drama. You kind of look like my stepfather. And this drama energy starts to build as the energy builds. And you might think of this as them projecting on you, but you could stop it if you be a less effective screen, right? So next, you begin acting out their drama. You actually start being stingy, and you're thinking, I don't know why I'm doing this. It's not even like me. It's not my fault. But unfortunately it is, right? Because of your boundaries. And then eventually your partner decides you are the problem. You really are like my stepfather. And it's kind of true. So you break up and you start to return to your own energy and behavior. You stop being stingy because you're by yourself. You're not matching that energy anymore. And as you reset to your energy, you feel a bit better. But you still retain a little bit of that old stingy energy. A little bit less you each time you do this. And then the next time you see your old partner, you're now attracted to each other again because the energy is gone and you get together and you start the whole cycle over again. But it doesn't last because you haven't really dealt with your unconscious empathy. So you're just going to repeat this cycle over and over. So if unconscious empathy can be so troublesome, what about conscious empathy? Can you match people consciously? Yes, you can. If I admire somebody's ability to make money, I can match their energy. This is why people suggest that your income is the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Empathy can really help you here. Or maybe you're shy and you admire your swinging single friend, so you try to match his energy. This is a great way to learn something. I've used this for money, for new skills, for confidence. But be careful because you might succeed. If you become just like that other person, you might no longer be yourself. You might not really enjoy their lifestyle as much as you thought you would. And honestly, you probably really admired that they were just being their authentic self. Authenticity is a great energy to match. So think about your own examples right now. Is the light bulb going on? Where is unconscious empathy causing problems in your life? It can be simple, like just matching their mood or matching their energy or matching some particular trait. Or it can be something bigger. Any example you can think of. Where have you taken on someone else's moods, fears, goals, or lifestyle? I saw this so often with clients. It's a big confusion with energy. If you're highly empathic, this chapter will really change your life. If we sum up all these stories, you can see the results of poor boundaries. You're easily affected by other people's moods, kind of like an energy sponge. You're feeling overwhelmed because there's too much energy. You're not succeeding at your own priorities, or you're distracted by everybody else's priorities. Maybe you're having experiences that you don't want, or it feels like people are dumping things on you. Maybe there's endless drama at work or home or in your relationships because you're passing this drama energy back and forth unconsciously. Life might feel really uninteresting or meaningless because you're not living the life of your dreams. Maybe you're too busy with everyone else's lives, unconsciously merging and matching with others. Or there's too much energy going into that drama loop. Or you don't even know what is you anymore and what's not you. This isn't really good for anyone, but it's especially not good for you. Now, fortunately, there is a better way. When you understand empathy and have healthy boundaries, you can know what's yours and not yours because you know yourself. And you can release from what is not yours because you have your certainty. And you can choose which story you are living in because you have great boundaries. And you can live the life of your dreams using your energy to fulfill your dreams. And with practice, you can even begin to make your own rules. Maybe you know someone like this who seems to live by their own rules or creates their own reality. They're not matching everyone else. And you can do this too. I'll show you how in this chapter. The first step to change is always awareness. Today, notice when you are matching other people or taking care of others but not taking care of yourself. And notice your unconscious empathy. Or if this doesn't sound like you, notice this pattern in other people. When are people matching you or following your lead? And do they really want to? Or are your boundaries simply stronger than theirs? And how does that feel? Either way, notice your habits around empathy today, and you'll already begin to have more compassion for yourself and others too. Enjoy. When we talk about boundaries energetically, we're talking about your aura. So, what's your aura? It's your personal energy which extends beyond your physical body. It's a bit like the atmosphere around the Earth. Lets in some light and it blocks out some radiation. Your aura determines which and how much energy you absorb. It's how you adjust your empathy. And your aura is very dynamic. It's always changing. Different size or color or density or position. And surprisingly, most people can actually feel someone's aura with their hand chakras. This is a great first introduction to energy. And before I tell you more, though, I really want you to feel the aura first. So we'll start with some aura stretching and warm-ups. Go ahead and close your eyes. Notice your grounding and earth energy. Turn your analyzer off and just be in the center of your head. And feel your cosmic energy running through your body. As it showers out the top of your head, the cosmic energy flows down the outside of your aura. This gives you a good sense of where your aura is. Now imagine you can feel your skin. It can be anywhere, your hands or the front of your body. And now let that awareness expand a little just beyond your skin. Maybe 1 centimeter. And let it expand a little further. And as it keeps extending out from your body, notice when it changes. When does it feel like it's not you anymore? In other words, what size is your aura right now? Might be arm's length, could be a mile or a kilometer away. Just get your initial feeling. Any answer is okay. Now get a sense for where you are in your aura. Are you right in the center of the aura? Or a little to one side? Maybe you're right at the front. Just notice. And just for fun, let yourself be centered and adjust your aura to arm's length from your body. Arm's length behind, to the sides, to the front, above and below. Is there a color that comes to mind for your aura? Or maybe a brightness? Does the outside feel soft or rigid? If you were outside your aura pressing up against it, what would it feel like? Any answer is okay. And notice how well defined is your boundary. Does your energy extend up to the boundary and then stop? Or does it fade away gradually, less and less and less, as it gets further away from you? Just notice what's true for you. Finally, notice how easily does energy flow into and out of your aura. Does it flow in more easily or out more easily, or is it balanced? And remember, your aura changes. Just notice what's true right now. It might be different tomorrow. And just for fun, see if you can balance the flow in with the flow out. You can do that by making the outside of your aura a little more crisp. Good. Now notice, does this feel like you? Does the energy inside your aura feel like you? Be in the center of your head again. Grounded, and feel your aura around you. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Great. That was just a little warm-up to see what you notice about your aura. And really trust yourself. What did you feel for the size, position, brightness, and color? Was it soft or rigid or well-defined? How was the energy flowing in and out? Did it feel like you, or was it another energy? Or maybe just a new experience for you? Maybe you didn't feel anything. That's okay too. Just asking the questions was clearing unconscious energy from your aura. So it'll be easier to sense next time. Now let's look at what each of these traits means. As I describe them, think about how they apply to you. Feel free to adjust your aura as I talk too. You can try out a couple different settings. So the size of your aura varies from arm's length to a room or a city or even a country size. And sometimes a small aura is better. Sometimes a large aura is better. Let's look at some scenarios. So when you're in the city or indoors, it feels better to have your aura small. And when you're in nature, it feels better to have it big. I lived in Sedona for a long time, and I was used to having this large, expansive aura because I was hiking all the time. And then I came to Tokyo, and I felt very crowded in the city. And Hisami, my wife, said, "Why don't you just make your aura a little smaller?" I thought, oh, good idea. So I shrunk it down to more city size, kind of arm's length for my body, and I felt better. And I started noticing the little beautiful things around me that I couldn't feel before when I felt overwhelmed. So a small aura is great for a local perspective, and a larger aura is great for a global perspective. A small aura is good for concentration, and a large aura is good for a broad understanding. A small aura is great for feeling yourself, and a large aura is great for feeling others. A small aura is good for sorting out what's yours, and a large aura is great for teaching and speaking because you want to feel all the students' energy. A small aura is also good for focusing, and a large one's good for relaxing. So, how well defined your aura boundary is determines how clear your boundaries are. A less defined aura fades away gradually, and a more defined aura is more crisp. A less defined aura is going to feel like you're a little unclear about your boundaries. People don't really know where you stand. If your aura is more well-defined, you have very clear boundaries. When it's less defined, you're going to take on other people's priorities. And when it's more defined, you're going to follow your priorities. If your aura is less defined, you're going to be less selective. Like that example, what do you want to eat? I don't know, what do you want to eat? And when it's more clearly defined, you'll be more selective. When your aura boundary is less defined, you're going to feel unsure of what's yours because you're kind of merging with everything. And when it's more defined, you'll know yourself from other people. Now, less defined boundaries can be a really fun way to get lost in a crowd. So let's say everybody's dancing together. It's really fun to get lost in that energy. Or if you're at a live sporting event and everybody's cheering and the crowd's all together, it's really fun to get lost in that energy. But for most situations, having a more defined aura will feel good for you. How about permeability? How much energy comes through your boundaries? Here we're really looking for balance. If you have low permeability, it means energy can't get in. So you feel insensitive or protective or defensive. You might be seen as aloof or demanding. And you don't really feel your impact on others. So you're understanding yourself, but not other people. Now, if your aura is highly permeable, energy gets in easily. So you're too sensitive, no boundaries, energy sponge. You're very allowing, or you're a doormat. You're understanding others, but losing yourself. The goal is to be somewhere in the middle where your energy is balanced. It's just right. I'm okay and you're okay. I'm feeling the world. I'm knowing and respecting myself, and I'm understanding myself and others. So let's talk about some of the other attributes of your aura. There's a location within your aura. So where are you? Are you in the middle, the side, the front? And this is just a personal preference. I had a really good friend who was always at the very front of his aura. He was just right here. He was super excited, enthusiastic about life and curious. But everybody had the same response when they met him. Everybody thought, why is he standing so close to me? Because he would come up right here and talk to you. But because he was at the front of his aura, that didn't feel too close to him. Or you can think of the opposite example. People that are really cool tend to kind of hang out in the back of their aura. They're being really cool. A lot of space in front of them. Color is another trait of the aura that people talk about a lot. And it's actually always changing. I don't use it very much myself, but everybody wants to know, what color is my aura? So for me, the aura is not really a fashion statement, but it's more like a radio dial that you can use. That's kind of how I use it. But color can be fun too. Another trait is brightness. So your energy versus foreign energy. Foreign energy is going to look kind of dark, where your own energy is going to look brighter in your aura. Your aura can also be soft or rigid, which determines how friendly you feel to other people. A good boundary doesn't mean that your boundary is rigid. If you think of someone you know who feels really good or really yummy, they don't have a rigid aura. They just have a really nice aura. And of course, we talked about energy flowing in or out of your aura. Are you a giver or a taker? Or are you balanced? And this is just a personality preference. Please don't judge people for this trait. You can also have a shared aura with people. So maybe you're having an intimate moment and you want to merge with somebody's energy. Sometimes it feels really good to get lost in someone's energy. So today I want you to start noticing your aura. Get a better sense of who you are energetically right now. And notice any ways you want to change your aura, but don't judge yourself too much. The goal today is to just get to know your natural tendencies. I'll give you more tools for adjusting your aura later. So don't try to be perfect. Just have fun learning about yourself today. Enjoy. I've mentioned seniority a few times in this chapter, but I want to make sure you really get this concept. To me, seniority really means three things. The first is knowing that you always have a choice in your energy. This is simply true. There's no effort or struggle required. Yes, it's not always true in the physical world, but it is always true in the energy world. So occasionally a student will ask me, but what if somebody puts a curse on me and it really affects me? And the answer is easy. They just gave away their seniority, and that's their choice. You can do that, but it's optional. Seniority also means letting go of what is not yours. Stop trying to fix other people's problems. That's their responsibility, not yours. And this is not a cop-out. You can't fix them anyway, and it's invasive to try. If you're struggling with somebody, focus on your own boundaries and your own seniority. That's the best way to help. Finally, seniority means taking responsibility for your energy and your boundaries. Responsibility sometimes gets a bad rap, but if you look it up, it actually means accountable for something within someone's power. It's not about obligation or blame. And we're just talking about your energy and your boundaries, so obviously you want to be in charge of those, right? Seniority has some great benefits. When you have your seniority, you get to choose your reality. What experiences do you want to have or not have? You decide. And when you have your seniority, you tend to focus on your priorities. You're not caught up in other people's priorities. And when you have your seniority, it's easy to remove foreign energy from your space. It's no effort. You just decide and it moves. Energetically, you have seniority in your space. This is simply true. The only way not to have it is to misunderstand, to forget, or to give your seniority away. So how does this happen? The three main ways people give away their seniority are blame. It's your fault and I'm helpless. Now, if you think you're a victim, you can't change it. Second way is submission. They know better than me, and you just give away your power. And the third is lack of confidence. I can't do it. And it's important to understand that no one will maintain your boundaries for you. No one will respect your boundaries if you don't. Fortunately, as you practice with seniority and boundaries, your confidence will grow. You'll stop giving your seniority away. It's great. So what does it feel like when someone crosses our boundaries or crosses a line with us? Usually we get angry. In fact, I think anger is actually a natural internal response to a boundary being crossed. It's natural and it's automatic, just like you feel pain when you stub your toe. But before we make this internal response, this internal anger external, we should really ask ourselves 4 questions. First, did you understand your boundary in the situation? Maybe it's a new situation for you, and you didn't know you were sensitive there, so you're surprised, you're shocked. Second, did you communicate your boundary clearly, energetically, and verbally? Third, did the other person understand and agree? Sometimes people misunderstand or even disagree. You only get to decide for yourself. And finally, did you respect your own boundaries? Remember, no one will respect your boundaries if you don't. Now, if you get a yes to all 4 questions, I understood my boundary. I communicated it clearly. It was understood and agreed upon, and I respected my boundary, then yes, definitely you can stay angry. But it's usually not that clear. Maybe we didn't know we were sensitive in this area, or we knew but were too embarrassed to mention it. Or someone simply misunderstood us. It's natural to feel angry, but probably better to run your energy and clear it instead of spreading it around to other people. This is part of having your seniority and having good boundaries. Now, I should say here, I'm talking about energetic boundaries and non-personal physical boundaries. If someone mentions a topic that you're sensitive to, or maybe makes light of something that you don't like, or that's painful for you, or maybe someone plays some music you don't like, or wears something you're allergic to, or uses your favorite coffee cup. I'm talking about these things. I'm not talking about your personal physical boundaries. So we must all be respectful of each other's physical boundaries. There's no excuse here. If someone forces their will on you physically, that's their fault. That's not your fault. But practicing with your energetic boundaries will make this less likely to happen. A strong energetic boundary can communicate just as clearly as a physical one. So next, let's talk about clearing foreign energies. What if some energy gets in, or you absorb some energy that you don't like? How do you get rid of it? You can try it right now, and I'll talk you through the steps. So just think of an energy which might not be yours, something that you'd like to get rid of. Okay, got it? Now, first, notice it's not yours. For example, if you start feeling grumpy, but you don't know why, you can just ask yourself, is this mine? Or maybe you just suspect it's not. I don't think this is mine. Or you can even decide, this isn't mine. All those work. Second, remember your seniority. You always have a choice. It's your energy. And third, give the foreign energy permission to exist. 100% permission to exist, just not here in my space, in my aura. If you're resisting, it's a way of hanging on to foreign energy. And four, forgive others for sharing it with you. It may not have been malicious. It was probably accidental. And if it was malicious, that person's in a lot of pain, probably more pain than you are. So have a little compassion. So just forgive anyone else who's involved in this energy. This fifth step may seem overly simple, but just let the energy go. You know it's not yours, and you have your seniority, so just let it go. Just let it release into the cosmic energy or down your grounding and leave your space. It's that simple. There's no force needed. If that doesn't work, if you have low seniority in this situation, or if you're still developing your seniority, try declaring that the energy is leaving your space. Might sound like this. I declare that this energy leaves my space. Or, this is not my energy. You can even command it to leave. I command this energy to leave my space. Now, if you try commanding, remember, it's just a statement. There's no explanation point at the end. It's not a demand like, this energy has to leave, right? That's called resistance. You're just saying, I command this energy to leave my space. I know I have my seniority, and this is my space. And so it leaves. This is very simple, but it may take a little practice. Just have fun with it. I remember years ago, I was in a sweat lodge with the Lakota in Colorado, and someone had an illness that they wanted to heal. And the chief said this beautiful intention. He said, Great Spirit, please take this energy and put it somewhere where it won't bother anyone anymore. It was just a beautiful intention. No judgment, no resistance, just seniority. You can also use seniority for clearing a person from your energy. Say you're frustrated with somebody and you're thinking, he's in my space, or she's in my space, or they're in my space. And you're getting bent out of shape about it. So think about somebody you know like this right now. You feel is in your space. So step one to clearing this is to notice that you lost your seniority and be a little amused. If they're in your space, you let them in, right? If it's totally their fault, you've lost already. So just laugh a little bit at yourself. Haha, I lost my seniority. You can fake it if you need to. And step 2 is to take back responsibility. No one is attacking you energetically. In fact, very few people have the skills to do that. And people that do have those skills aren't foolish enough to use them because they know there are consequences. So it's safe to assume that no one is attacking you energetically. And honestly, it wouldn't matter anyway. If you have your seniority, even a skilled practitioner can't harm you with energy. Step 3 is to check and adjust your aura boundary. You can imagine doing that right now. Just bring it in to arm's length. Make it well-defined. And a nice balance between sponge and resistance. Very good. And now that you've dealt with the other person, you just have to clear the foreign energy, just like you learned before. So if you think about it, there wasn't really a person in your space at all. You simply matched their energy. But you have your seniority and know your boundaries, so it's no problem, right? You just declare, this isn't mine, and let it float away into your cosmic energy. You were probably doing this as I explained it, but let's go through it again in a meditation space. So go ahead and close your eyes. Check your grounding. Make sure your analyzer's off and your energy's running. Think of a problem you have. Maybe something you're angry about or someone who crossed your boundaries. And ask yourself, do you believe that you have a choice? I want you to start to feel your aura vibrating at seniority. For now, just know that you have seniority. You have a choice. Feel that energy of seniority all through your aura and all around you. Very good. Now say to yourself, I declare that I have seniority in my space. I declare that I have seniority in my space. Notice how that changes your energy. Really own it and take responsibility. In this situation or with this person, notice how was your aura when you absorbed this energy? Get a sense for the size and definition. Don't think, just feel what was your aura like when this energy came in? And what would you adjust to make it different? Maybe a little closer, more well-defined, a little more or less permeable. And do that right now. Make your aura the setting you would have liked to have had with this person or situation before. Good. Now, notice the foreign energy in your aura. You might just feel it, or maybe you see a little dark patch or some color. Where is this energy which is not yours? And if you're feeling unsure, you might just decide, oh, that's the energy that's not mine. Give that energy permission to exist. If you're resisting it, let go of that resistance now. We're going to move it out soon, and then you won't care if it exists, because it'll be outside of you. Next, forgive anyone else who shared this information with you, who shared this energy with you. It's not really their fault any more than it's yours. Good. Now let that energy go. Just release it into your cosmic energy or down your grounding and out of your space. Say to yourself, in accordance with my seniority, I command all foreign energies to release now. In accordance with my seniority, I command all foreign energies to release now. Just feel. Just feel the energy leaving. Feel yourself returning to your true energy. Take a deep breath. Feel your aura boundary around you. Really well defined, with your seniority and your ability to choose. Just admire your own boundary and say, I love my seniority and boundaries. I love choosing my space. Smile. Very good. And open your eyes. Welcome back. So how are you feeling? How does it feel to have your seniority? Were you surprised, or maybe a little afraid, maybe asleep? Did the energy release easily? Did you take responsibility for your energy? I hope this helped you feel more clear and confident about your space. Seniority is just an energetic trait. You don't have to earn it, just claim it. I'd like you to keep practicing with your seniority today. Just notice when you have your space and when you give it away. Notice when someone crosses your boundaries and how you respond. And notice any foreign energies in your space and let them release easily. This isn't even mine. I'll just let it go. These simple practices let you choose your experiences throughout the day. Enjoy. Last lesson, you learned how to clear foreign energy. This is great for when you notice foreign energy in your space. But wouldn't it be better if you didn't absorb that energy in the first place? So permission is the key concept for making this happen. So our focus today is the permission rose. A permission rose helps you automatically maintain your aura boundary and seniority. It helps you keep yourself from absorbing other people's energy. And it helps you stay sensitive to communication and understanding. To create one, you just imagine a rose at arm's length from your body, right out here at the edge of your aura. This is a good aura boundary distance. And it can be facing up or it can be facing out. Either way is okay. And this rose symbolizes permission. You have 100% permission to have all the energy inside between you and the rose. You have your seniority. And when you meet someone else, they have 100% permission to have the energy outside the rose. The permission rose is all about non-resistance. I have my space and you have your space. I want this much space in my aura, but you can have the rest of the universe. This is a very generous offer. If you encounter someone you do have resistance to, you can just imagine this rose is out here. It's kind of like a polite way of saying, talk to the rose. You don't have to match or absorb their energy. The permission rose is also flexible. When someone comes close, it stays halfway between you and them. And as they leave, it springs back to arm's length. In this way, you always have your space. And even though it's in front, your permission rose works 360 degrees all around you. I also like to set my permission rose so that others get a copy of it when we meet. This helps spread permission throughout the world, in our work and relationships, and so on. So, what happens if the rose starts to get old or starts to fade or filled with energy that you want to release? You don't have to water it or try to fix it. You just kind of pop it, let it release, and then you create a new one with your imagination. And when I teach this live, it's really easy to see the results. I'll ask for a volunteer from the audience. I'll say, is there anybody that's sensitive and doesn't like it when people stand too close? A few people will raise their hands and I'll say, great, you're my volunteer. Which of course, they wish they hadn't raised their hand then. And then they get on stage and I have them just kind of be their normal energy. And I stand back maybe 10 feet or 15 feet or a few meters. And then I walk up to them bit by bit and ask them how they feel. And usually by the time I'm even, 2 arms lengths away, the person is starting to lean back, look tense, maybe kind of a little bit rigid, and everybody in the audience can see it. It's just automatic because they're sensitive. And then I have them imagine they have a rose, and it's set to 100% permission for them to have their space and 100% permission for me to have my space. And then I walk up and in the same way, and it's remarkable. You'll notice that I can walk all the way up to the person, even very close, walk around them, and they don't have that response at all. Now, of course, you might be thinking that's because it's the second time I walked up, right? So then I have them get rid of the rose, I go back and we do it again, and they're still just as sensitive as they were before. So it's a great demonstration. Now, I've also had some really fun results from my Tokyo students on the train. Some people say, I hate being on the train. It's just too many people. It's so crowded and they just can't stand it. And I say, no problem. Just, put that rose right up against you. In fact, you can put 2 or 3 all around you. And just report back and let me know how it feels. And it's really fun. I've heard so many stories that, oh, that worked great. Now I have a rose and I don't mind being on the train at all. So a really good tool. And a rose works great when you usually feel oversensitive. When you put up that rose, now all of a sudden you feel safe. And of course, it works the other way too. If you're overbearing energetically, that rose will help you find your balance. So how else does a permission rose change your experience? Let's take a look. So without a rose, you're becoming their energy. But with a rose, you're just perceiving energy. So you're getting all the communication, but you're not merging with that other person or energy. Without a rose, you automatically match somebody else's space. But with the rose, you hold your own space. This is a very different feeling. Let's say you meet a woman at work and she is enthusiastically talking to you. She wants to share some information and wants to impress you with something. And as she's talking to you, if you don't have good boundaries, that's exactly what will happen. She will impress her energy on you. And then when she leaves, you'll be thinking, wow, she really impressed me. Now, rewind. Now imagine the same scenario, but you have a permission rose. So you have permission to have your space, your feelings, your understanding, and she has permission to have hers. When this woman comes up and has the same conversation, when she leaves, you'll be thinking something like, wow, she really wanted to impress me. So you got all the same information, but a very different feeling. You didn't become her energy. This is a really subtle but important difference. Also, without a rose, you tend to react unconsciously. And with the rose, you act consciously. Without it, you might feel like a victim energetically. And with it, you have your seniority. Now, keep in mind that permission is the key concept here. If you're sensitive, you probably feel like you need to protect yourself. But if you're imagining a protection rose instead, you may get very different energy. So let's look at the differences. So protection is very rigid, and permission is very flexible. Protection is temporary. It breaks very easily. And permission is lasting and durable. Protection takes effort and stress. It's lots of work to maintain protection. But permission is easy and graceful. Protection feels guarded, so you can stop some of those positive experiences from coming in too. Where permission is very allowing. Protection is really based in scarcity, and permission is based in abundance. There's plenty of energy and plenty of space for everyone. And using a permission rose will gradually help you increase the abundance in your life. So next, I want to share an exercise that I think you're really going to enjoy. And I want you to try it out throughout your day. It's really fun. It's called being an energy ninja. And the inspiration from this comes from those old movies with ninjas. So just imagine there's this old guy, this ninja, and he's kind of relaxed and calm, but there's 10 other people around him trying to attack him. And they're younger and bigger and stronger and have bigger weapons. But he doesn't seem concerned at all. He looks like he's completely unbothered, like he doesn't have a care in the world. And as a blow comes in, he just kind of steps aside, someone falls, or he turns a little bit and the weapon misses him. Or maybe he ducks and someone goes flying over. Or he might give somebody a little gentle nudge and they go flying across the room. And no matter what they try, no one can touch this ninja. And what I love about this scene is that the ninja isn't attacking anyone, and he's not even really defending himself. He's just vibrating internally and externally at permission and seniority. This is the best example I can give you. And he knows that he is senior in his space and is expressing it physically too. No effort, very graceful, not angry or mean or judgmental. It's just a beautiful vision. And this is what I want you to feel like with your energy. You are an energy ninja, and your weapon of choice is the permission rose. So people's energy just stops at the rose. As they get close, your rose naturally comes close. And as they leave, your rose naturally springs back. You always have your space, gracefully and without resistance. To help you feel this experience, I want to do a guided journey together. So just get comfortable and ready to meditate. Let's begin. Go ahead and close your eyes. And remember your grounding. Feel that aura boundary around you. And let your awareness be in the center of your head with your analyzer turned off. Okay, good. Now, feel your cosmic energy running. Just decide that it's running, even if you don't feel it. And create a brand new permission rose for yourself, right in front of you, arm's length from your body. As you look at that rose, let it remind you of your seniority. You get to choose your experiences. let this rose also vibrate at permission. You have a permission to have 100% choice in the energy between you and that rose. Other people have 100% permission to choose what happens outside of your aura. And as you do that, notice just that setting with permission, suddenly your energy gets much stronger. It's like you kind of come back because now it's safe. Okay, very good. And just feel yourself being very centered right in the center of your aura for this exercise. And let that permission rose be flexible, so it can automatically adjust as needed it can get closer to you, it can move around to the sides. It's just flexible and automatic. And when it's not needed, it'll just kind of move back out to the front of your aura in front of you. Very good. Now, feel your aura adjusting to that rose, so it's very well defined. You know your boundary. And set your intention that you're going to feel energy, you're going to receive information from the world, but you're not going to become it automatically. Okay, nice. Now, imagine a typical day for yourself. Who is the first person that you see? Just imagine seeing that person. And see your rose halfway between you and that person. As that person's talking, see your rose vibrating at their energy, receiving that information. And just decide, do you choose to match this energy? If it's a yes, then feel that energy coming into your aura. And if it's a no, just notice that energy stopping at the rose and not coming into your aura. Good. Now, see that person walking away. And as they do so, your rose goes right back to the edge of your aura, arms length in front of you. And a little copy of your permission rose goes with that other person. Okay, now fast forward to some other time in your day. Really see yourself, imagine yourself going about your day. And see somebody coming to you that's not very happy. Maybe they're frustrated or angry or sad. And as they come close to you, notice your rose adjusting. If they come in really close, it's just still halfway between you and them. You still have 100% permission to have your space. And notice that your rose it's vibrating at seniority, but it's also vibrating at their energy. So you can easily understand them without becoming them. Okay, and just remember your seniority, 100% permission to choose what comes into your aura. And see that person moving away. Your rose going back in front of you. And see them getting a little permission rose copy. Okay, breathe. Now imagine that you're walking in a busy place. There's many people around you and they're moving by you. And your permission rose is adjusting. You're like that ninja. People are coming close, but no problem. Your permission rose adjusts automatically. There's no effort and no stress. Even if people get really close, you still have your space. And as they move away, your space gets larger and adapts. So now let it get really busy. Maybe there's a lot of people. Again, you're just being that energy ninja. Permission rose, maybe you've got several of them just adjusting around your body. And you're kind of amused. You're feeling good. You're still feeling like you. You can't believe it. You have your space, even in this environment. And notice that you're giving yourself 100% permission to have your space, and everybody else 100% permission to have theirs. And in this environment, rather than having nothing coming into your aura, see if you can adjust for the energies that you like. Like, I want to be a little happier. I want to be a little more abundant. I want to feel a little sexier. Whatever it is that you want to absorb from your environment, set the rose, set your boundary so that that energy can come in. And you can match that from the crowd. Just notice people around you and just absorbing only the parts that you want. Very good. Also see each person that gets near you getting their own permission rose, spreading that permission to the world around you. Okay, now let that visualization go. Just fast forward till the end of your day. Really congratulate yourself on having good boundaries for that day. And just imagine right now you're tuning in and just noticing, did I absorb anything that I don't want or anything I don't need? Because no matter how well you set your boundaries, some stuff is going to get in. You're not going to be perfect, and that's okay. Just be amused at whatever is with you that you don't want. Notice that it's not yours. Give it permission to exist and permission to release. And just let it go. Very good. So just breathe. Just let your aura return to all you. Just feels like you. Feel your seniority. Just be excited about your ability to choose. And when you're ready, smile and open your eyes. Welcome back. You're amazing. Now that you're overflowing with permission, just enjoy your day. No effort, no tasks to perform. Just have fun exploring this new you. Enjoy. Today is our final talk on energy boundaries. I want to give you some exercises and ideas for practicing with your boundaries in everyday life. And of course, I want to answer a few of the most common questions that I've been asked over the years. So here's one I received from the very first duality group. So Maria said, Since creating my rose, I've had two very difficult days. Like the universe was testing me on the permission concept. Before, I was always trying to protect myself as I'm very sensitive. This, however, is quite different now to everything I've tried before, and I love it already. I noticed today that people react to me differently, somehow more softly and friendly, and I didn't feel like I needed to protect myself from them. I also noticed that I can stay calm with people that are agitated or stressed, and I'm able to stop some communication when I don't like it without feeling guilty afterwards. Yeah, that's great. We all have difficult days, and that's when the energy tools really shine. That's also why it's important to practice so much on the easy days, so that the tools come naturally and easily when you really need them. I know some of you may still be worried that you're not doing well enough with your tools, but please remember, you're not expected to master every technique in a few days. Yes, I can teach them to you quickly, but it takes time and practice to master them. It's like carpentry. I can teach you how to use a hammer and a saw and a paintbrush and a measuring tape, but I wouldn't expect you to become a master carpenter overnight. The goal is really just to try out the tools so that you know what's possible, and you'll get better and better using them over time. So just relax and follow the program, and you'll get better with the energy work as we go. A good daily practice is to notice how your aura responds to other people and places. You can try out different sizes and definition and permeability. And you need to practice to get some awareness, so just keep playing with it. At first, you may not be completely sure what you're doing, but that awareness will come with time. I'd also like you to notice when you forget or give away your seniority. And no shame here, just simply reclaim your seniority. This always happens sometimes, and it's okay. And of course, be an energy ninja. Use a permission rose throughout your day and see permission spreading to everyone around you. Permission is contagious. It's great. If you have a partner to practice with, you can try feeling each other's aura too. This is really easy. You just start by creating an energy ball between your hands to kind of open up your hand chakras and increase your sensitivity. And then you stand about 10 or 15 feet away. It's like 3 or 4 meters. And just have your palms facing outward toward your partner like this. And just slowly walk toward your partner. And notice what you feel. Most people feel a little tingling or some heat or some pressure in their hands. And just notice, when do you start feeling their aura? You can also notice if their aura is well defined. Is it rigid or soft or uncertain? Did they adjust their aura as you move? Try again with a rose and a well-defined aura boundary, and you'll notice a little difference. If you can't feel anything, you might actually need to back up. Some people have really large auras naturally. And then, of course, switch with your partner and have them try it too. This is a really fun exercise, and it'll really help you understand the aura on a different level. I'd also like you to start noticing when you have poor boundaries and adjust accordingly. If you're feeling uncomfortable, adjust your aura. If you're feeling angry, like your boundaries have been crossed, ask yourself those 4 questions. If you're holding a grudge against somebody, just let that energy go. If you're feeling some drama, just stop passing around the drama energy. If you're feeling kind of wishy-washy, take a stance. And if you're easily affected by others and think, that's not like me, that's a good sign that you're matching somebody else. You can also notice if you're talking or dressing like your friend, and remember to be yourself. Now, this one really makes me laugh because I did this in Sedona. My good friend John Dumas is an amazing shaman and musician and sound healer, and he's got these amazing clothes to go with it. And so I tried to mimic this, but it didn't really match my energy. It's better to admire his style than admire my own style too. And as you do this, you'll start to experience all these benefits of good boundaries. Better understanding of yourself, feeling empowered with seniority, having more experiences that truly fulfill you, and less things are bothering you. You get to live your dreams more quickly. because you're living by your own rules, less struggle and drama and wasted energy. Having good energy boundaries can improve your work situation too. Just notice how clear your communication gets with your colleagues. Or you're having less time spent on other people's tasks. And try using a permission rose for your email and phone calls and video chats. It works great there too. And as you get the hang of using your permission rose and having strong boundaries, you'll notice one surprise benefit too. People will find you more approachable. You know where you stand, so they feel more comfortable. And they'll find you more attractive too. Nothing is sexier than being yourself. And speaking of sexy, many students have asked about merging of auras. So when you're hugging or maybe an intimate moment, or even in a family situation or when you're sleeping. And this is fine too, but it's something that will happen automatically, naturally, when you're close with people emotionally. You don't have to try to merge your aura in these situations. And even if you are in a deep embrace, I recommend having a permission rose between you. It just makes it easier to return to your space with clarity. Big gatherings are a great place to use a permission rose too, especially if someone insists on that awkward, let's all go around and introduce ourselves thing. Have you ever noticed yourself getting more and more nervous as you wait for your turn? That's because you're matching and merging with everyone else's nervousness. You might want to hand out a rose to everybody there and just see what happens. I should mention too that it's okay to use another flower or another symbol if a rose doesn't feel good to you. A rose is an ancient symbol of having your space and being part of the whole. But it's the energy and intention that matters, not the rose. So you can create a permission tulip if you like. Now, if you do change this, please choose something which is flexible and graceful. Don't make a permission battle shield. One final reminder to practice, practice, practice. One slow, deep practice per day to deepen your skills. And then quick reminders throughout your day to build easy habits. I promise you, if you really use these tools, you can expect big results in your life. Seniority, permission, clear boundaries. These are life-changing, especially if you're sensitive like me. These tools completely changed my life, and I hope you'll have fun with them too. Have a beautiful day. Enjoy.